Hello, this is Alex Camelio with the Real Estate Technology Institute, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about virtual staging. Now, what is the concept of virtual staging? Essentially, oftentimes people will move out of a house before actually selling it and move all of their furniture with them. So you have this really empty home that is kind of tough to show, right? And get people to visualize how their stuff might look in that space, or what their style might be, or things like that. Now, one option is actually staging the home directly and either having it done in-house or hiring a staging service to come in and actually stage the home for you. From everything that we've seen and all the stats that are out there, staging a home in general will sell quicker and for higher prices than not staging the home. So doing something to give people concepts in terms of, staging that space might be a good way to go. Now, that being said, beyond just physically staging the home, there's this concept of virtually staging, which means if you take pictures of the empty space, of that empty room, you can then digitally add different things. You can add couches and tables and chairs and, lamps and so on into that space after taking a picture of the empty room. Now, I will make one sort of caveat if you're deciding to use any sort of virtual staging and putting that online or sending it or sharing it with your buyers. When you do that, make sure that it is very apparent that you have virtually staged those pictures. That was just something that you mocked up to show them, and that when they show up to the place, it's going. So there are a couple different options in terms of virtually staging a home. The first option is to basically hire a service to do it for you. And for that, there are groups like, say, Virtual Staging Solutions. It's just one that I randomly picked from, the few that are out there. They do a very nice job from everything I've seen. But just wanted to give you an example in terms of, somebody where you can outsource this. You don't have to worry about doing it yourself or things of that nature. Now, you can obviously see their plans and pricing, but just to give you an idea of the sort of work that they do, you can see the blank space and then the actual stage space. Again, blank space, staged, blank, staged. You get the picture. They turn around the photos in 2 to 3 days. Reasonably good service in terms of that. Everything I've heard has been great. And that's if you want somebody to virtually stage the space for you. Maybe, a client has a specific style or something like that you're trying to cater to. Now, beyond that, though, there are services out there where you can actually do this yourself. And my favorite, and the one that I really would promote and talk about here and want to show you how to use, is what's called visualstager.com. You just go to, again, visualstager.com right here, and you're starting to get the idea from the photos here in terms of what you're capable of doing. Okay? You can actually go through, you can do this on your tablet or on your laptop or desktop. You can actually take a picture of an empty space and start virtually staging it right from your computer. So I've created an account here, and we're actually going to go back to home, and we can look at houses, and they have a bunch of sample houses that you can start with. So here, let's see what let's go with just the first sample house. And now I can either edit the scene, which is the empty room to begin with, or I can go to one of the stock options here in terms of them having created this as part of their sample. So if we edit the scene, it's just going to drop us right in here, and then I click on the plus button over on the right hand side, and let's say I want living room, chairs, pick one, add it. Now I can actually add a chair into the space. To rotate it, you just hit the Alt button, rotate it, and then you can actually visually stage this yourself. But before you jump into actually dropping chairs and things like that in, you actually have to calibrate the room. So I'm going to start by saying recalibrate. We'll discard our changes here. And what it's showing you is when you first set this up, you want to drag the handles precisely and align the left and right lines with vertical elements in the photo. So you see here these red lines that are with the vertical elements. Okay, that's giving it an understanding of what is vertical, so that it can actually adjust and move these things around the room. So we add those lines. We say calibrate, calibration accepted, click finish if you're done. Finish it. Now we have an empty room we can start with. We'll go over here to the full room, and you can see that when you're working in this space and editing this, you have a huge range of things that you can add to this space. So if I want to, I can add a different type of, say, love seat or couch. So maybe I don't like this one, I get rid of it. And then I want to add a new one. We'll add this to the space, and we'll rotate it so it's flush to the wall. And then we'll put that back into the same space here. So you can start to see how it becomes very, very easy to virtually stage different spaces in the house. And then we can click on this one again and lock it so that it's not moving around, and we can go on to the next scene. This is a great, great tool. It allows you to very quickly and easily virtually stage a space. It also allows you to do it in terms of, catering to your clients maybe a little bit more. Figuring out what their styles are. You can even sit down with a client and play around with this and say, hey, this is what the room might look like. This is what the room might look like. It's kind of a cool thing to be able to do in terms of virtually staging. So, in conclusion, we've shown you a few options, which is having a service that does it for you, or creating it on your own. I tend to lean towards the created on my own, but that's the type of person that I am. I love figuring things out. I love, testing out new tools, and I can be kind of particular in terms of exactly how I might want things done or set up in a specific room. But everything you see here, from the plants to the wall hangings to the items on the table to the chairs in the back of the room, is virtually staged. Again, I told you this at the beginning, make absolute certainty that you make it very clear that this space has been virtually staged. Do not let them expect that they're going to be showing up to a full space when it's not, or when it's something different. You absolutely don't want to do that. But that being said, it's a very cool tool. So, this has been Alex Camelio with the Real Estate Technology Institute. Thank you so much for your time today. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you got a lot out of this video. As always, if you have any questions, please join us for our office hours. And thank you once again